A border state. And Chicago is feeling the brunt of the problem, taking it on the chin with taxpayers on the hook for a lot. Nearly 47,000 migrants arriving over the past 2 years. The city now spending more than $460 million on housing and food, education and medical care, other benefits along the way. The government response stirring frustration and resentment among the longtime residents who live here. Brian Yennis tracking that inside the arena here in Chicago with more now. Brian, hello.
Bill, good morning. And of that $460 million spent by Chicago over the past 2 years on the migrant crisis, 2/3 of that money is going towards providing free health care to the more than 46,000 migrants who've arrived here. Some are even receiving $15,000 free rental stipends. This is money critics say that could and perhaps should be going to the 500,000 Chicago residents who are currently living in poverty. Today, the migrant crisis is not as evident in the streets of Chicago. The number of migrants in shelters is down to 5,000, and migrant encampments were cleared out before the start of the DNC by the city. But residents here still remember migrants sleeping in police stations and airports, and they're still bitter about the resources being diverted away, particularly away from minority communities. Listen.
If we're going to be helping others, we also have to make sure the citizens of the city are, in a better position than they were in past years.
They were sleeping in front of the police station, and come on, the police station is like where you go to get protected, and all these people are like just there, and it was always dirty.
It's not just families and stuff. It's a lot of people who just get out of jail. Also, gang members from Venezuela. So I don't agree. We have enough issues here already, and our mayor, our governor, they're not understanding that.
Yeah, and some Democrats here in Chicago say immigration needs to be talked about more here at the DNC.
I'd love to hear an apology from Kamala Harris. As borders are, you allowed nearly 8 million people to manipulate our asylum process. I know I'm not going to get that, but I also want to know and hear some recognition of we have to do something that fixes the front door so that everyone isn't relying on the back door to get into this country.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, as you can see there, this is a talk about a person that has some problems, right? He has some issues because, well, he's not very good on what he's saying, right? Because Chicago residents are very upset about the illegal migrants, and finding actually the entire of the United States is very angry and upset about the illegal migrant crisis situation, and I think it's going to have to be dealt with. Now, if you're in certain places like California, you probably won't experience some of the illegal migrant crisis, but if you're in San Diego, LA, you're probably going to have that heartfelt illegal migrant crisis be felt harder, definitely around in the San Diego area. So, yeah, and what we have here is a crazy and insane Democratic sheriff that is ranting and raving on how Kamala Harris and Joe Biden Kamala Harris is going to be the ones that are going to be saving the country from the illegal migrant crisis. They're the ones that are going to do it. So, without further ado, here is the nutcase in question here.
When Donald Trump comes down to Texas, stands next to officers in uniforms just like mine, he's not there to help us. Don't think that. Not for a second. He is a self-serving man. I mean, look, just like when he killed the border bill, he just made our jobs harder. Now, Kamala, on the other hand, has been fighting border crime for years. She's gone down to Mexico and worked to stop the traffickers. And when the traffickers didn't stop, she put them in jail. Now, down in my neck of the woods, we call that fooling around and finding out. I may be paraphrasing a bit. We protect them. Now, the border sheriffs that I know, right, and we're like Kamala. We protect and serve. We enforce the law. We show compassion. And we fight like hell to protect our border. Because as we've always known in Texas, Cuando luchamos, ganamos. When we fight, we win.
Now, this guy is a certified lunatic. This guy is a liar. This guy was, I would say, paid off. Because I'm going to be showing you a video here of him kind of really just contradicting himself entirely on the whole situation. And how he's you know, saying like Kamala Harris and it's the ones that are, you know, they're not going to be the ones who are going to be saving us, right? He messaged Kamala Harris or the Biden administration 3 separate times and he didn't really get an answer. So, yeah, without further ado, my friends, here's this guy contradicting himself immediately.
Javier Salazar sent a letter to President Biden asking to meet with him to address the humanitarian crisis at the southern border. He also criticized Texas Governor Greg Abbott's stance on immigration and human smuggling. With us now, Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar. Sheriff, it's a pleasure to see you, sir. Tell us about what you are asking for. What are your needs?
Well, right now, thank you for having me first off. Right now, what I'm asking for is for the president or a member of his administration that can make decisions to come down and talk to not just me, but at least 12 other Texas sheriffs from major counties in the state of Texas that are dealing with this issue firsthand. So I'd like to see somebody from Washington come down here, get boots on the ground, get eyes on the issue at hand, and then talk to us, a bipartisan group of Texas sheriffs that are really taking a common sense approach because we have to on this.
So when you say you're taking a common sense approach and that you're not having federal assistance, what is that approach that you're taking and what is it that you need?
Well, we'd like to come up with something that makes sense. At present, and I hate to have to say this, at present, we've got a governor that's using this as a campaign stunt. I mean, I hate to say that, but it's a whole lot of money being poured into the border just for the point of just for the stance of making a point to America, right? They're putting these people into state prisons, creating a backlog in the jail system that affects Texas sheriffs, but also like busing these folks to Washington, D.C. and then dropping them at the figurative doorstep of the president. You're just doing that to make a point and you're wasting resources in the process. Why don't you talk to some law enforcement officers that are handling this and let us see if we can together come up with a basic, no-nonsense approach to this situation that needs to be handled. You can't tell me that the immigration situation in this country is working just fine.
So, Sheriff, you've written 3, I understand, letters to the White House. Here's your opportunity to speak directly to the president and to the folks at the White House. Cameras are yours. What are you going to tell the president?
Mr. President, we need your help. With all due respect, the perception here, what I've seen in talking to other law enforcement leaders in my precious state of Texas, is the perception is that there's been a complete absence from Washington, D.C. Now, I know that you've got a whole world to protect and serve. However, here down in Texas, we need your help. We need you here to talk to us and see if we can be part of the solution. Right now, what we're doing is we're allowing the state government to control that narrative, and maybe they're trying their best. I don't know. But at this point, the results that we're seeing are just not satisfactory. Clearly, we're dealing with over 50 people dead. That means the approach isn't working. And so we need the president's help to come down here and talk to Texas law enforcement, and let's see if we can't figure something out.
So yeah, this guy is a paid-off sheriff that, immediately contradicted himself, right? This guy says, like, oh, Kamala Harris is going to be saving us. Kamala Harris is the ones that is going to be arresting people and putting people away. Yeah, but you just said that 50 people were dead. You found 50 people dead. There isn't enough help or enough things going on. And you sent 3 papers to him and you got no response. So what is it, pal? Are you actually for the people and actually wanting to help the people? Especially in your own state called Texas? Or are you just going to be a pathological liar? You're going to be paid money. You've shown that you can be paid off and lie to the American people. Is that what's going on here? Because it seems like that what it is. Because we can't go and we can't show you. We can't tell. You can't explain to us exactly on why you changed your tune so rapidly. Did things change? I don't think they did. not that quickly, and we know the whole amount of American people are upset about this situation. They do not like the state of where we are at in the illegal immigrant crisis. This guy was paid off, man. All these people that are, I'm convinced now that all these people that are working for Kamala Harris are just extremely paid off. Like, they're the ones that are being paid to talk good about Kamala Harris, even though they probably just don't even like her. And that's just straight up the truth. Because we've seen this guy literally say that, like, she's doing great for the country and fixing the illegal immigrant problem. Well, you have this guy here, not long ago, bad-mouthing on how bad the administration is doing. So, again, these people are paid off. This is the way it is. This guy deserves nothing. He should probably, honestly, in my opinion, resign from what he's doing. Because it's insane, right? Like, you are not being truthful. You're showing that you can be paid off by some government official or whoever. Somebody paid you. And not be truthful to the American people. So I think you should resign, and another sheriff should take your place that actually cares about the American people and the people of Texas, because you're definitely not one of them. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Let's get share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted. This is algorithmic disease, the social media.